Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. I want to go over crow pose or frog stand. This is usually the gateway arm balance into more advanced inversions or even handstand. So I'm going to show you first, and then I'm going to break down the skill as well as different strengthening exercises that you need in order to get the skill. So this is what it looks like. Let's break it down. Okay, first are some strength exercises. My favorite one is the hollow push-up. So hollow position is with your back, mostly your lower back, not being an arch, but in a posterior tilt, where if you had a tail, you're tucking it between the legs. So for your hollow push-up, I'm going to start on the knees, keeping the hands underneath my shoulders, tuck my pelvis as I come forward, and then push back up. So this is very difficult, a lot more difficult than you think. You really need to make sure that your hips stay tucked as you come forward and back up. What this will do is put a lot more strain on your hands, and you really need to make sure you're pushing in your fingertips so you're not just sinking in your wrist. Because as you're balancing your crow, you're constantly using your hands to balance too far forward or back. You're really squeezing the ground, and you're constantly in control. Same thing if you're upside down in a handstand. Everything that you're going to be doing balancing on your hands. The next exercise is a hollow rock. Your legs will be extended either out in front of you or with the knees bent and your arms overhead. Here you're focusing on no arch in the lower back, and you're just moving back and forth, nice and slow and controlled. Trying to limit the momentum here. You don't want to be arching and popping in the ground. The last exercise, very similar, is a ball roll. So your hands will be out by your side, and you're trying to maintain the connection with the knees on the elbows. So I will go through those exercises, do 3 sets, 10 reps each, and then we're going to work on the skill of actually holding the arm balance. Okay, so how do you hold the crow? It starts with where your hands are placed on the ground. You don't want to place your hands too externally rotated because then you're only going to have your thumbs to balance. And you don't want to place them too internally rotated because then it's going to rotate into your shoulder. And one, it's not going to be as easy, and two, there's going to be a lot of possibility for injury. So I like to have my pointer fingers parallel to each other anytime my hands are on the ground. Whether that's for a crow, handstand, etc. I feel like this is the best position for me. Some people also like their middle fingers parallel. You can play around with what works best for you. Just make sure that your elbows are not coming out to the side. You'll place your hands down, shoulder width apart. I'll show you from the side. Your feet will start together, and then you're going to come down to a squat with the knees outside. So in the beginning, this might be a little bit painful with the knees on the back of the arms. A lot of times you'll see people learning and they're squeezing the side. It's a lot more difficult because you're not in a stacked position. We want to make all of these movements as efficient and easy as possible. So you want to get the knees on the back of the triceps. From here, you're going to come high up onto your toes and slowly come forward. And now I'm looking forward if I was to make a triangle with the spot I'm looking at and my hands, and I can just stay here on my toes. I'm really keeping the weight pushing down into my fingertips. If I feel comfortable, I can bring the feet up, and then when I want to come back down, slowly bringing the feet down to the ground. So some common mistakes are looking too far back. So you'll be here, and I'm just looking between my hands, and now this is going to be very hard to balance, and it's going to make me feel like I'm going to go over. We want to avoid going over. I'll show you in a little bit some things to do if that happens. And your gaze will create an equilateral triangle with your hands. Just like if you were going to do a tripod headstand. Okay, so if you're like, okay, Mike, that looks doable, but a little bit scary. I'm really nervous about crashing down on my head. What I'll tell you to do is grab a pillow or a meditation cushion. And you place it right outside in front of you. Now your hands come down, and now you're looking at the cushion. So if you happen to fall forward, you're here, you fall, you just place your head down, bring the feet back, and come down. I'll show you again. You come up slowly, really pour the weight up forward into the hands, 1 foot up at a time. Maybe you tap, you're holding, and then you come down. Make sure that you tuck your chin so you land on the top of your head. You don't want to be landing on your face. But it's a pillow, so it won't be too bad. You can start with a pillow that's fairly high, so that if you fall, there's not a long distance that you're going down. And then as you get more comfortable, you can lower the pillow closer and closer to the ground, finally taking it away. One thing I do want to mention is you don't want to pick up your hand to fall. Because what happens if you pick up your hand, all of a sudden, there's nothing underneath you and you're going to come crashing down. So that will look like this. If I'm up balancing and then I start to fall and I pick up my hand, my knee's going to come down and my hand's quickly going to come out. This is very common. If you're balancing without a pillow and you continue to start to go forward, you're just going to come into a tripod headstand. So I'm coming here. Oh no, I'm going forward. I just tuck my chin and come down to a tripod headstand position. Sometimes you can even start here and then lower the feet, push with the fingers, and then come back up into your crow. Sometimes that's a nice progression to work to build confidence in moving throughout the position. Okay, so that was if you're working on the crow. If you already can hold your crow for 15 or 20 seconds, and you want to take it to the next level, this is an exercise I like to do called crow push-ups. It's going to teach you how to move and balance while you're in the crow position. So you'll come up, and now from here, your feet are going to open up. The arms come wide as you tap your head to the ground, and then rotate and pull yourself back up. So you tap, the elbows wrap towards each other, and you lift. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. What this is going to do is bring the balance point from the heel of the hand to the finger, from the heel of the hand to the finger, and you're going to have to work constantly making small adjustments within your balance. All right, guys, I hope that helped. The hollow push-up that we went over is going to build strength in your upper body while at the same time activating your core. That's true for any type of arm balance or inversion that you're working on. It's being able to use your upper body while at the same time keep your core activated. The second exercise we did was the hollow rock. That's just focusing on locking your core in that hollow position, which is not arch, but tucked under with the glutes tight. And then the last one we did was rocking in a ball, really maintaining the elbows onto the knees in that compressed tight position. And then for the crow hold, hands shoulder width apart, pointer fingers parallel. You're looking out in front of you like a triangle, getting the knees on the back of the triceps, and then slowly coming forward, really engaging the ground with your hands. You really want to focus on these three fingers. It's like the claw of your hand. This is where you want the weight. You don't want the weight in the outside of the hands, and then the pointer finger knuckle comes up like this. It's fairly common, you'll see with new hand balancers. They don't yet have the strength in their hands to push down to that pointer finger knuckle and then drive those fingertips into the ground. But the good news is these are small muscles and they get stronger fairly quickly. So just practice correctly, and I look forward to seeing your crows and getting after these arm balances and handstands. All right, enjoy the journey. Have a blast. Tag me at Mike Idella, #MassMethod. Send me a DM, email, whatever you need. I'm here to help and get your addiction going. All right, thanks.